Hi guys. So today we're talking about the man who killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot. Yeah, I know. The title by itself was what got my attention. And it's a good movie. Up until the end. The title alone, obviously, got my attention. And it's on Tubi. You can find the link below. Since we're talking about links and things, please like, share, subscribe. If you're willing, I would very much appreciate you guys subscribing to my Rumble channel. I want to start doing live streaming on Rumble as soon as possible. One of the things I'd also like to do is to consider moving pretty much completely to Rumble. But that's going to be sometime in the future. YouTube is definitely on a downslope, but not yet. So I made a few notes. The beginning of this movie I was absolutely in love with. It made some interesting, or it hit some interesting notes in the very beginning. Obviously the title itself gets your attention. I mean, who is this guy who killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot? What's the deal there? And the premise of why Bigfoot had to die, left completely alone about how it exists or what it is actually fairly inventive. One of the things I noticed very early on, actually before the first photography, the first visuals, the soundtrack is, the opening song is Billy Squire's Lonely as the Night. And that plays in an 80s bar. The setting is the 80s. Ish. It's kind of vague 80s. Sorry, I'm having to adjust my jacket. It's rather cold in here. But as I said, the setting is vaguely 80s. Early 80s. Which initially, and I will point out early on, a very glaring continuity error. The bar that the main character is drinking in is equipped with a modern point-of-sale machine. And being that it's Sam Elliott playing the character, who is a gentleman of advancing years, though extremely good as an actor, it kind of threw me for a minute because I was thinking, okay, if this is modern time with an old bar, and ironically the character's name is Bar, if this is modern era, and remember, this is the very first scene you see, the bar is clearly an older style of bar, but there's a modern point-of-sale machine. And now I suspect part of the reason for this is the budget and someone missed something in the set. So it left me wondering, is this guy some sort of immortal? Is he just super long-lived? Is there something really special about this guy? And it doesn't seem that way. Once you get past the first few scenes, I came to realize, okay, that point-of-sale machine was an actual error. Kind of like the Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones. Someone just missed it. And it is what it is. But the scene opens with a long shot of Calvin Barr, the character, sitting at the bar, nursing a drink. And, you know, you get this air of mystery. There's no one else in the shot. You get this air of mystery about him. It's clearly later on in the evening, late at night, which you discover shortly thereafter as the bar closes. But it does kind of give this sense of the character as someone with deep thoughts, someone who's deeply thinking about something. And they cut to a shot of Sam staring into a mirror behind the bar. And this is used as a transition to a flashback. And it's very, very well done. Some of the flashback transitions in this are so smooth that you actually miss them until something else happens in the shot and you go, oh, this is actually a flashback. I'm very impressed with that. The movie is beautifully shot. Well dressed. They use set and prop elements very, very well, which is kind of why this thing with the point of sale machine is hung up in my head. And I'm just looking at some of the notes I made here. There is a scene where he sits to eat breakfast by himself, and you get the impression that he's a widower. It's actually a wrongful impression, but not exactly. And when you go through the rest of the film, you'll see why. I'm going to try to avoid spoiling, as I always do. For the record, those of you who are interested in watching this movie, go to the link on Tubi right now and get it set up, because you have 3 days to watch it. Tubi, like Netflix, rotates through their films. It's taken me quite a while to get to this one. I added it to my watch later list on Tubi probably about the time I started making these video reviews. And I'm really, really sorry it took me this long to get there, because it is a good movie. Even with the continuity error, even with what you're going to hear about the ending. And I did use the words elegant or eloquent to describe the way that they used the set decoration and the props as a means of developing this guy's character. And yeah, throughout the film, there's a lot of show, don't tell. And there's a lot of the audience. You have to be engaged as someone watching this film, or you will miss things. Okay, so that's pretty much it for my notes, I believe. Yes. And the worst thing is now, if I start talking more about the film, I'm going to hit spoiler periods, but I will do my best to avoid that. It's listed as drama, I think adventure or action, and sci-fi. The sci-fi element, obviously, Bigfoot. The drama in this is actually really, really well done. It's like someone wrote a dramatic piece and then threw in a fantastical element just to, or a couple of fantastical elements, just to, almost like they were trying to make filler. It's all written, directed, and produced by one guy. I can't pronounce his name. Kurskowski or something like that, I believe. But very good. Just the same, good movie. I do recommend watching it. My one gripe with this movie is kind of glaring. It's the ending feels not tacked on, but unsatisfying. It does have an unsatisfying ending. Not to say that you shouldn't watch it. You may get something more out of it than I do. Again, I'm not a professional reviewer. I just try to think critically about what I'm watching. Technically, in terms of the technicality of the filmmaking in this movie, this is brilliant. It is a great movie in terms of how it was made. The story leaves you a little unsatisfied, but it does, well, to be fair, the ending is not, it's unsatisfying for me, but it's unsatisfying from an action fan standpoint. It is wrapped up very well. And in some ways, the theme of this movie is regret. There are some thriller elements, some espionage thriller elements, some... Well, the action is almost... It's very much subservient to the story. It's not the focus, and it doesn't need to be. This is not an action movie by any means. It's definitely a well-told story. And now that I've mulled on the ending a little bit, I literally only just finished the film before I turned on my camera. Excuse me. Yeah, I would say that having mulled the ending a little bit, it's suited to the character. It's... Definitely one of those films that you should watch. I don't know if it would ever make my favorite list, but of the films that I've reviewed to this point, it's definitely a standout. I don't know anything about this film other than the title and that I've watched it. So whether it won awards, whether it won any sort of critical acclaim, I'm unaware of all of that. And given that I'm coming up on 12 minutes, it's actually a good spot to pause and do a bit of research. Just doing a bit of research at the moment, and I've been reminded of something. The main character's Canadian. It's kind of a bit of a trivial thing, but one of the tiny details that you get is there's a scene where he reaches into his closet, takes out an American military uniform, and the medal that he has, which once you finish the film you understand his reaction to. But that medal turned out to be the Legion of Merit, which I'm looking at this medal, I'm thinking, geez, what medal is that? Is that the Medal of Freedom or something? Once I realized that this was a medal given by the American military to foreign nationals for service to the U.S., it kind of clarified that particular point, that this character, is Canadian. It's also, the film debuted at the Fantasia Film Festival in Montreal, Canada, July 20th, 2018. And the U.S. premiere didn't take place until August in El Paso. It played in Spain as well, and in Finland at various film festivals. The character, the reaction, the thing with that medal is, again, one of these elegant, eloquent uses of props to tell the story of this character. If that particular point had not been made, you would be left wondering, if you didn't go and, if I had not gone and researched that medal, I would have no idea that this character was not an American. Not right away, anyway. You would get the idea eventually. But one of the really great things about this is that having the sum total of human knowledge in my hand, or all but the sum total of human knowledge in any case, having that in my hand, having it to hand, made it much easier for me to catch a little detail that would slip, at least for some time, past people. And, you know, if you're not a medal guy, U.S. military history guy, things like that, then you probably wouldn't have had the slightest idea. So it may very well have been put in just as a Easter egg for people in the know. One moment. So, according to Wikipedia, the critical response on Rotten Tomatoes, it has 75%. On Metacritic, it has an average score of 51 out of 100 based on 13 critics, which they say indicates mixed or average reviews, which I can understand. And I would say that this is... I would not put this as an average movie. This is definitely something very well done. Again, I would knock points off for the point of sale anachronism. There's no real glaring errors other than that, and that one only was a glaring error for me because I've worked in bars. But if you ask me for an out of 10 review on this one, the pacing is great. The acting is first rate, and not just from Sam Elliott, but also from Aidan Turner, who plays the younger character, and from Larry Miller, who plays his younger brother later on in the film and in the present era. The rating out of 10... 7, 7.5. Maybe as much as an 8, though I would knock off for... There was certainly creative explanation as to why this man killed Bigfoot. So that gives it an increase in my estimation. There were some issues for me in how the character prepped himself to go after Bigfoot. There is a bit of an odd discontinuity during the Bigfoot fight. But really, yeah, 7.5, 7, solid. It's a solid film. It's definitely an entertaining film, definitely worth watching. Would I tell you to go and buy this film if you have to go and pay for it? Absolutely not. No. But then again, the quality of most films these days, I wouldn't anyway. And that includes things that Disney is producing. Which, those of you in the know already know my opinion of Disney. But, yeah, all in all, good movie. Would I watch it again? Yeah, I would, actually. I won't watch it again right now. But if in the future I'm looking for something to watch and it comes up and I'm in the mood to watch something that I've seen before, it's definitely going to get on the list. In any case, that's my review for The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot. I will endeavor to get a good image for the thumbnail. The poster itself, the publicity imagery, it's quite good. Definitely gives you a sense of, what the hell is this? And how the fuck have I never heard of it? In any case, folks, that's it for me. I hope you're doing well. I hope you continue to do well. And rise again until lambs become lions. Bye-bye.